Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with another episode of Mini Mondays. I love Mini Mondays. They're just such cute little packages of happiness, and we have left you instructions on how to make for today a 3.5 inch unfinished little quilt block, and it's leaves. Now this is part 2. Last week was part 1 where you have the flower. Now you're doing the leaves, and there's going to be another one coming up here in a bit, but it's just a cute little thing, and you can put them all together and make a table runner or whatever. Now, if you wanted a bigger block, you just print this pattern at, 200%, and you'd have a 6-inch finished block or 6.5-inch unfinished block. Now, there's 4 different leaf designs here, just as there were 4 different flowers. So I thought it was going to be a cute little table runner idea. Or, it's just one of those fun little things you can do and just, have a great time with it. Now, before we get into the pattern, because the pattern, the PDF is going to be in the show notes below, let's get to our shout out, because I forget my shout out. If I don't do it now, I forget about it. Jamie at the Quilting Compound is on our radar today, and she looks like she's having so much fun over on her YouTube channel. So go check her out, give her some love and encouragement, and tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. I talk about her quite often on my channel, but she is very talented quilter. So anyways, like I say, tell her that I sent you over there. Now, there's the YouTube channel for her YouTube channel, new mouth installed today, is in our show notes or description box as well. Look for that see more button. Every device is different, so I really don't have any idea how to work any other device other than the ones I own. So I'm not that technology, person that's way up there. I can barely manage my iPhone, so that's about it. Let's talk about all the other things that are in the show notes below. We have a Facebook group, and it's warm and welcoming, growing very quickly. And we do all the same thing Facebook groups do by showing pictures and asking questions and all this stuff. But we have lots of community chats, and we're just having a ball in there. And we have a virtual sewing room set up for the Facebook group members as under Discord that is open 24/7. So you have a sewing day, every day of the week, and doesn't matter what hours you're working on it. Let's see, with the Facebook group too, there are all the sorts of fun community chats, and everybody is kind of getting to know each other after a while. We also do fabric exchanges by country. So if you're from the US, you join the US fabric exchange. If you're from Australia, I'll get you in touch with the lady that's running the Australian fabric exchange, right? It's so much fun to do that. And it's a great way of getting to meet people and getting involved in your Facebook community. So if you have a Facebook account and you want to join us there, by all means. Also, we have the Zoom sew dates from now until the end of May, because we're filming this at the beginning of January, so that's where we know our dates are. We haven't got the dates for the grandkids camping trips yet. So once we get those dates, we'll put them out for the rest of the year. So just watch where the show notes are. Put it in your calendar. And I try to bring something simple to those Zoom sew dates, but if you don't feel like sewing that day, please come with your knitting or your crocheting or whatever you're working on. Everybody, it's all fine. It's a great place to come hang out and do stuff, and talk. Also, share, like, and subscribe our YouTube channel with your friends and your quilting buddies. It's going to help us give more free patterns to you in the future. And if you don't want to miss a video, there's a little bell that you can hit, and it tells you when our videos are dropping. So that's also helpful if you don't want to miss any videos. Also, commenting helps our analytics, and it helps push our video forward. So if all you have time to do is a heart, that is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And I speak for free to quilting groups and quilting guilds. I talk about elements of design. I talk about working with scraps, of course, and I also talk about making charity quilts. So if your group or guild is looking for that kind of a speaker or kind of topics, put my name forward. I'd be happy to accommodate them. It's my way of giving back to the quilting community. And I think that's all. So come on in, let's get to the sewing. Okay, so here is our PDF, right, for the pattern for the leaves. Now what we're going to need is our tracing wheel, right, to put marks on our pattern, whichever one of the four, because they're all four different ones, right? We're going to pick, and we're going to need a rotary cutter, an add a quarter ruler. Now this add a quarter ruler has a little ledge on it that helps you, you know, just only cut off a quarter inch, but you could just use a regular ruler. They have a small cutting mat and tape. Tape is your friend. Tape is the friend that, you know, is kind of like, you're hoping you don't need it, but it's there. So let's just quickly pick one. And I'm just going, with cutting my scissors, I'm just going to pick this one here because it's quick, it's fun, and it's not going to be that hard to do. Now, again, if you wanted these to be 6-inch finish, you just print at 600 or 200%, right? You know, so you could have a larger object to be paper piecing. Now, I'm going to just line up inside so I can see where this is. And I might as well do this one and this one. Now, this thing does a few things at once. It helps perforate your paper, making your project easier to peel, but it also, you can see from the back what you're sewing, right? Like you know, when you're lining it up, if you don't have a window with strong daylight, some people find they cannot do foundation paper piecing, and it saves you to getting a box light for underneath, you know, because some people, they need a light from below just to see where they're lining up their little paper. So that kind of alleviates this. All right, so there we are. We're all marked up. I'll put my tracing wheel away. Okay, so number 1 and 2, I have been just beating my greens to death. I am just, so here we've got a green, and we only need tiny little bits of green, right? So I'm going to make 1 and 2. So now you can see the back where the little dots are. Just, I'm hoping it focuses. Do you see the back? How you see the dots? There we go. And so 1 and 2. So I'm just going to put this down like so. Yes, it's a remnant from a triangle, half square triangle, and mine too many of them. And let's see. This will work perfectly. Yes, it's big enough and it'll go. So now you flip it over. Okay. So we're sewing between 1 and 2. There we go. So you just sew that one line up like so. And I'm using my crumbs. As you see, I've got my crumb bins out. So, you know, this is all easy to manage. I love using my crumbs for foundation paper piecing. It's just the way to go, you know. Okay, so here we are. We've got that turned over. Oh dear, okay. I remember I have to turn that over. So now we want to put on 3. And we're just going to fold over between 1 and 3. Now this is a very skinny seam. That's why you use an oversized piece, right? That's very important. You use an oversized piece. And there. Now that line that's in pencil line that's there, it's outside the seam allowance, so we're good. And then we want to pick another fun piece. Let's pick something, ooh, like this. Oh yeah, like that. That works. Okay, so now we're going to put a piece like this on. And hopefully it will be big enough when it folds over. No, it's going to fall over the wrong way. Okay. Well, let's do this then. Let's just do this. It's going to be big enough. Yes, it is. And I'm just going to move this up a hair just because this is such a little skinny piece of green. There we go. There. Now, so we're sewing between 1 and 3. Now, if you sew by number, basically this is, think of it as a paint by number, but you have to also sew it by number too for it to work. Okay. There. I should have a leader ender, but I don't. So anyway, so now, okay, we're just going to finger press this. You would be ironing, right? And making a proper job of it. So now we're going to go back to 4. We're looking for 4. Now that we got 3 in place. Okay, get your 1/4 inch ruler out. Okay, there. There we go. Crumbs are kind of one of these funny, strange little creatures in my sewing room. Okay, I should probably use this side here. And we're going to make sure we've got good coverage. Yes, we do. Here. And now you want to line this up as you're sewing between 2 and 4. All the way across. Okay. Okay, now, oops. Oh dear. Okay, no, did I do this wrong? No, I don't think I did. Okay. So I'm just going to trim off between 4 and 6 right away, just to make sure that I didn't do something dumb. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go between 3 and 5 and trim off that excess. I'm just going to lay it down. See how easy it is to fold when you've got that perforated edge? There we go. Now, we put this down. And we're going to go from corner to corner, just lining it up. Take your time, lining it up. I'm just going to leave that there. Flip it over. Okay. Now, oops. There. Okay. We got the green out. There. Okay, now I'm going to fold this. So now we want to do 6 because that's the next number. And 6 I've already trimmed. I'm just going to see if 6 will fit. If this will fit for 6. Because if this fits for 6, this would be really good. Okay, there we go. Move that up just a bit. There we go. So we flip it over. When you're doing long, skinny narrows, it's a good idea to leave the piece much larger and then just trim away, right? Because that, otherwise, it, you know, you might not, it wobbles and then it won't look right. So there we are. We've got another piece here. It's big, you know, it's oversized, but it's okay. And we take this, trim this big green piece out of the way, and it's big enough to go back into the crumb bin. Oh yay. And let's get another fun piece of fabric. Oh, that would work. Let's do that, but let's do that from the back side, from behind. Like I want to put, this is the right side of the fabric. It's a little too dark for what I'm doing, but the back side is perfect little color. I just want to cut it there. Okay, this is the perfect color. So let's put it like this. We want it this side up. There. Okay. Now, there we go. We start from the corner all the way down. There. And now we have all 7 pieces on here. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to stretch this out just a bit. My fingernail, there we go. Now, I'm going to cut off this. I'm lining it out on the edge of the seam allowance now. Okay, so that that white goes back because it's big enough. And this white will go back too because it's big enough. And on top and bottom. Like I say, when I'm doing a bunch of these, I would do a whole stack of them. So I would run a whole bunch of 1 and 2s together through, like, you know, 10 at a time or whatever. And that would also speed up your sewing. Okay, now, okay, so I'm going to run stay stitching around because all of the stuff now on the outside edge of that block is on fire. And I do not want my stuff to stretch. That would be bad. Stretching would be bad. So if you put a stay stitch around it, it doesn't go anywhere. There we go. And I'm just doing my stay stitching within the seam allowance so it doesn't show. And there we go. So, okay. There we go. Now, this is what it's going to look like when I'm finished, right? So there's your stay stitching too. Now I put my so you can see where the stay stitching ends. It's like a 1/8 away from the outer edge. I'm hoping it focuses eventually. Nope, it's not going to focus. But anyway, so let's get to our ta-da moment. So here we are with our cute little leaf pattern. And I'm very pleased how this one turned out. And yes, I flipped over this, so I'm using the wrong side of the fabric. I have purchased both sides, so I can use both sides. Now, I'm going to show you something really quick with that perforated edge. This perforating those lines before you sew just makes this so easy to come off. I'm stripping it here now, and I'll be done by the time I'm yapping. And yeah, it's just works that quick. You shorten your stitch length, right? I've got mine set 25 to 30 stitches an inch, right? I am not sure what that does on a modern machine, or I think it's like, you know, 1 or something on your modern machines. I'm not sure what stitch length it would be, but check it out on your manual. Let's see, one little piece of paper here that stubbornly will not be removed. So I'm going to pick at it. There it is. It's gone. So yes, so there is the little leaves. Now I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to put this down, just a sec. And I put this down out of the way, and I'll show you what this is going to look like. Oops, there we go. So you've got the leaf here, right, just like so. And this is the flower from last week. Really cute. Isn't this a cute little idea? And there's 4 different flowers, and there's 4 slightly different leaves, and very quick, very easy, beginner friendly. So keep that in mind. Anyways, I hope you're having absolutely an amazing week, and your life is going great for you, and everything's working out well for you in your sewing room. So take care and stay well until we see each other again. Okay, bye! Hello again. We just want to thank you for enjoying our video and, you know, coming along with my husband and my YouTube adventure and quilting. And, you know, sometimes things don't work out as best they should, and sometimes they work out great. We're going, wow, that went well. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. Share, like, and subscribe these videos. That really helps us out, and it helps us make more charity quilts, okay? So you guys take care until we have a chance to meet again, okay? Bye!